Ghost Tales.
Hey girlies and ghoulies, and welcome to the Girly Ghost Tales podcast. We're your hosts for this evening. I'm Amber.
And I'm Leah, and tonight we're diving into one of the most chilling stories we've ever covered, a first-hand account of demonic possession. Our guest Monica joins us to share her terrifying experience after using a Ouija board, a night that would change her life forever.
From strange whispers in the dark to losing control of her own body, Monica's story blurs the lines between curiosity and chaos, and serves as a warning to anyone tempted to open that doorway.
So grab your sage, turn off the lights, and settle in.
And to the grave we go.
We are here with Monica tonight, and she is going to tell us about how she was possessed by a Ouija board.
Okay. So I was like about 19 years old, and me and one of my ex-close friends, we used to like to play with the Ouija board. We're kind of curious about it. Just like I played with it before, and I was just like, yeah, let's go ahead. She had got a hold of it. We started doing it at the San Antonio Haunted Railroad tracks, and we would play on the tracks itself. I would take my son at the time. Now he's 25, but at the time he was only like 1.5 or 2 years. But we would go and we would play the Ouija board. And when we did, it would tell us that there was a bunch of kids around there, and my son would point out the window and sit there and say, "Mommy, kids." And we were just like, what? So we didn't believe it. We were just playing, and then it started moving by itself to the point where like we didn't have to put our hands on the thing. It would just start moving. So we were like intrigued by this. So we would play. It became an obsession. We started playing all day, every day at the haunted railroad tracks. We would go there all the time, and we would play there to where we met a paranormal investigation team, and they videoed us. I can't find the video of it, but they videoed us playing it, and our buttons of our shirts, me and the lady, our shirts started popping off, like the buttons, and I was like, whoa, what's going on? But they were picking up sounds. One time when we played it, we were out there and we just started hearing a howling scream, and we could not find it. It was coming from the woods. Like there's the tracks, and then there's like a bunch of woody area, and we just heard the scream, and it sounded like it was getting closer. It sounded like a shriek, like a witch shriek. And God. So freaked out, we jumped in the car, and we got the Ouija board in there, and her car wouldn't start. And my son kept pointing out the window saying, "Mommy, the kids." And I was like, "No, let's go." And her car wouldn't start. And then all of a sudden, it kept getting closer and closer to where the car finally started. Around that time, like I said, we started becoming possessed, obsessed with it. So we went to a park near San Pedro by San Antonio College. We went over there, and I told my friend it'd be cute to take a picture with our ghostly friend on the with the Ouija board. So I sat there on the thing, and I held the Ouija board, and we took a picture. On the picture was kind of like you could see something, like it was like shining, like you couldn't see it. There was no light or anything, like it was like later on at night, and I was just like, what is that? After that, things started getting weird. We started getting into car accidents, and things were starting to go bad. We were losing money, we were losing things, like just things were going bad for us. We went to a witch shop, as you could say, and I asked if they can cleanse us, and the guy refused. He took us into his office and told us, "Y'all been playing with the Ouija board." We didn't say anything. We just asked for cleaning.
Oh my God.
He told us, y'all been playing with the Ouija board. And we looked at each other, and I was like, "How did you know?" He goes, "Because I see the demon standing behind y'all, and it's attached to y'all." And I was like, "What?" He goes,
God.
"You have a demon attached to y'all from the Ouija board that y'all been playing. You've been playing with things that you shouldn't be playing with. And you took a picture with it, and you're kind of trapped it." And I was like,
oh my God.
And at first I was just in shock, right?
Yeah.
And I was just like, at her, she was looking at me, and he was like, look, I'm going to give you some stuff to clean yourself. And once I know you've been cleaned, I will clean you. But he goes, I will not touch you because I don't want the attachment. So I'm like, okay. So he gets 2 candles. He fixes one for her and gives her this, it's like some concoction that he made. And then another one for me. It was like a big bottle. He said, clean yourself with this for 3 days. Wash your body with it. Every night when you take a shower, cleanse your body with it. And he goes, but don't be alarmed if you burn. And we're like, what? So all it had was Floridian water. I know it had holy water, and it had like some stuff in it, and it didn't smell like anything. That night when we left is when everything started taking a turn for the worse. It was me, my friend Ruby, my friend Erica, and my friend Gracie. Me and Gracie, we sat in the back, and then Ruby sat in passenger, and Erica was driving. And we decided to go get Chick-fil-A. And we were going to go out to go to the club or something. We get over there. I remember getting to Chick-fil-A. After that, everything became a blur. And I don't know why, but this is what they told me. They said we got off the car, they went inside, and I refused to go inside Chick-fil-A. I refused. I said no. And I started saying about them being Christians and saying all this thing about their Christianity. At that time, I mean, this is back in 2000. I'm 41 now, so this is like back in 2002, 3, around there. And I refused to go in. So there was a payphone back then, payphones, but I had a cell phone too. I don't know why I didn't get on my cell phone. For some reason, I got on a payphone, and I called Erica and I said, y'all either come out here and we leave this, freaking place, or I'm gonna start walking down the highway. And I don't know why, I just did not want to be there. I was so angry. I was in anger. I just felt rage.
Oh my God.
And they said that when they came out and they looked at me, that my eyes were completely different. I don't know what they mean by that. I don't remember that.
Like black.
They said I just stood there on the phone talking to them, telling them to leave now, and that my voice was sounding different, and that I just kept staring at them through the glass.
Oh my God.
Standing there telling them they didn't need to come outside. So they left. We got in the car, and I just remember being in the backseat. I don't remember them driving, but I kept hearing this voice telling me, they're all against you. They're going to try to kill you. You need to kill them before they kill you. I always carried a pocket knife back then because, you're a girl and you just never know when you get into a situation. So, and plus I thought I was a little badass too. So I always carried a pocket knife. And I just kept hearing them, just kill him already. And then I saw the vision of me slicing Ruby's throat because she sat in front of me in the passenger seat. I sat in the passenger back. Gracie sat next to me behind the driver back seat, and then Eric was driving. I saw myself slicing Ruby's throat, blood just pouring. I saw myself hitting Gracie against the window and then stabbing her multiple times in the head, and then me reaching over and stabbing Erica into her heart and making her bleed. And I just started laughing. I just kept seeing it, and there's like, kill him. I kept, kind of like the Amityville horror where you kept hearing.
That's literally what I was picturing.
Yeah, I kept hearing it tell me over and over, just kill them. They deserve to die. They need to die. So eventually, I ended up lunging. And if it wasn't Gracie for there, I think I would have ended up doing it. But Gracie caught it. I cut her right here in her arm, her hand. And she held on to it. She fought me. And I was like, no, let go. And Erica pulled over. She's screaming to get me out of the car. And I'm just laughing in her face like a sinister laugh at that. That's when I started coming to little by little. But I just see Erica crying. She's begging me begging me to stop. They're begging, they're crying. Ruby's crying. They're just like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm just laughing and laughing. I don't know. I don't even remember it happening. And so I finally looked at them and I said, "Why are y'all crying? What the hell are we doing over here?" And they're like, "What's wrong with you?" So they told me all this that I'm explaining to you is what they told me. So I don't remember. I have no recollection of it. I don't remember leaving. I don't remember doing any of that. I don't remember. I just remember the voice. I remember the voice telling me. And it still shakes me to the core. So after that, Erica begged Gracie to stay the night with me. At that time, I was living with my oldest son's dad and his family. And they had asked me, they had asked Gracie to make sure I showered with that stuff that the guy gave me. I begged Gracie. I remember this. I begged her and I said, "No, please. I'll just lie that I wash my. Don't pour this. Don't do it, please." I don't know why I was begging. I was crying. I was begging her not to do it, not to do that. And she's like, "No, get in." Gracie's a big girl, so she can like overcome me and put me in there. So she was just like, "No, you're getting in the shower if I have to throw you in there." And I was like begging her, "No, no, no. Like, I'll give you money. I'll do," like, I was just telling her all this. And I'm taking a shower. And I go, "We don't have to tell them. They don't need to know." And she finally pours over, like, I didn't even see her over the hand, but over the shower, she poured it over me. I started to burn. It burned so bad, like if somebody poured acid on me, like it burned, and I was screaming. I had burn marks. I had, like, when I came out, I was all red of burn all over, and I was cussing. And I was telling her all sorts of things. Like, I don't know if TikTok allow it, but, like, I mean, I was saying some blasphemous words to her. Like, I was just going off. And she kept pointing. She was praying, and I was there crying and screaming at her. I was like clawing at the wall, like, because it burned so bad. And so finally, when it finally settled, I felt like I was in a battle because I was so tired. I cried and remember stepping out and it smelling like roses. It smelled like in the bathroom. Like, it just smelled like roses. And when I walked out, everybody's like, "What is that perfume smell? It smells like roses throughout the house." What? And it was because I don't know what it was, but the next 2 days I did it. I washed myself. It stung less, and finally it went away. We went back to the guy, and he said he's left, but not completely. You have to get rid of the Ouija board. He goes, "I will clean you, but once you get rid of the Ouija board." So I said, "Okay." So we went, and I couldn't even say where we went. We went to Casa Guarjados down on Florida Street in San Antonio, Texas, and we went to the park on Ritterman Road, and we tried to burn it. We used everything that we could possibly think of to burn the damn Ouija board. It wouldn't break. We could snap it. It wouldn't burn. It would not burn. Like, we used lighter fluid. We put oil. Like, we were like, we're gonna blow ourselves up and everything. We did everything you can freaking think of, and it would not burn.
Oh, literally,
it was like
a movie.
It was but it wouldn't catch fire. It wouldn't burn.
Was it like wooden or like cardboard?
It was the cardboard. It was the ones you buy at the store, like the ones that they have there.
Yeah.
It was the most craziest thing. It became such, like, I'm telling you, when we did all this, we finally got it to where it finally started lighting a little bit, and I told her, "Fuck it, let's leave it." I said, "Let's go. Let's just leave it." And we just left it there. And I felt guilty because I was like thinking, what if a kid gets it or finds it, Mm-hmm. But I just could not deal with it no more. Mm-hmm. We finally get back to the guy, and he finally cleanses us, and he says, "All those accidents we're having," and we never told him. I swear on everything, hands on Bible, we never told him anything. He told us, he goes, "All those accidents we're having," he goes, "it was because it was trying to kill you and take your soul."
Oh my God.
It y'all so bad that it wanted to take y'all souls, and take over y'all, and it tried to possess you, and you fought it. She goes, you're lucky because not a lot of people can beat that. And I was I was starting to get bruises and everything on me. Like I was just like bruises out of nowhere. It was crazy because you're the more sensitive one. Now about that, like I've always seen ghosts since I was like a little girl, and I've been able to tell people things before it happened. I knew playing with that thing was just like crazy. I mean, I used to play with like make homemade, writing it and doing it with a cup.
I did that a lot too.
We did it that. I did it in a haunted house where it told us, "You bitch, I'm gonna kill you," and I would laugh about it, and it would tell me all sorts of things. But this time we became so obsessed, like it was making us chase after this fictional guy, Arthur Espinosa. Kept telling Erica that she was destined to be with this guy named Arthur Espinosa, who lived on blank in San Antonio, Texas. I mean, this is when I was 19. I'm 41 years old now. I mean, this is like if it happened yesterday. I can still remember everything we did, and it's so embedded in us that I won't go around a Ouija board. I can't even look at it.
Yeah.
I'm so terrified of even taking a glance at it because sometimes I feel like it's wanting me to play it again.
Like it's waiting for you.
I still feel drawn to it. That if I were be able to go to it and play it, it would attach against itself to me.
Yeah.
Like I was the out of way type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty freaky. I mean, to know that I almost killed my friends. I mean, I could have spent the rest of my life in prison behind all this, and I didn't remember any of it. I mean, it's from what they told me that they remembered, and what they witnessed. Gracie was the one that saw everything the most because she was sitting right next to me. And I don't know what I would do if she wasn't there, because at that point, honestly, when I lunged forward towards Ruby, I would have ended up and I would have ended up killing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to this day, they don't want to bring it up. It's something that I can never forget. It's a feeling inside you that you just feel like this. I remember this immense rage inside me that I just was so angry at the world, and I wanted as much people to just feel the way I felt. That was the craziest thing for me. I mean, I have a lot of other stories that I've come across. I mean, I've always seen spirits and I've always seen things happen. But that was one of the intense ones. Just like when I was like 6 or 7 years old and my brother was being taunted by the devil, and we saw the devil's hand come from the ground up from the bed. My mother, I think she's probably going to watch this because I posted all this up, but she remembers it to this day. She held my brother. We jumped on her because it was not alone. I saw it when we had bunk beds, and my brother was so scared to sleep on the bottom bunk bed by himself. But this time I told him, no, you got to be brave. And I stepped on the top to where he started screaming, saying he saw the hand kind of grab him and pull him down. Where it came up above me, and I saw its red eyes and this all black shadow. Yeah, there was a lot of taunting that happened. A lot of things that happened to us growing up as kids, with watching the demonic things that we witnessed, where it was holding him down and he couldn't get up and he was screaming, and we couldn't help him. We couldn't get to him, like scratches that he was getting in the middle of and I mean, at that time my brother was only like 5, 6 years old.
Oh my god.
So he was getting tortured in his sleep. Still to this day, like, he doesn't like talking about that stuff or bringing it up, because it was something that went on for at least a good year that we were living in that place that we were living at, and it was just immense torture. Yeah. We just didn't have the means at that time, and it was just constant. To the point where we were sleeping in the living room, but and sleeping there because there was most light in that room. To the time where I was 14, and we had a dog named Miss. She was a Labrador, and My mom was there, my dad, my brother was there, and we were in my room, and all of a sudden we just hear that something calling my dog, like a mimic, like calling my dog to come to the other room. And Misty was growling at the door, and then going, ducking her head down and backing up and growling. And we were like, what's wrong? And we could hear it talking.
Oh my God.
Saying, just get him. It's a man and a woman. And they were sitting there telling each other, we should kill them. They should all die.
I'm scared.
And the dog is growling, and I'm just like, I always tell people you can either believe or not to believe, but I know that happened. I know the realness of it. I've had friends that didn't believe it, and when they came to my house, they became believers. My friend Erica, she was there one time. She had one of those old school Nokia phones, and she left it on the couch. We went to my bedroom. When we came back, her phone was out of the case, and it was in different parts.
Oh my God.
And it was just like in a symbol. And we're like, what
God,
the hell is this? We were freaked out because who took it out? It was just only us two there. So there was no way of nobody ever doing that. One time when I was 17 and my brother was 16, we were staying up late at night. My parents were asleep in their bedroom with the door locked, and we were in the living room watching a scary movie. All of a sudden, from his bedroom wall, inside his bedroom, you just hear boom, 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 boom. And we're like, who the hell is this? And we're here, Jonathan. That's my brother's name. She's like, Jonathan, come here.
Oh.
No, we ran into my mom's room banging on the door like, somebody's calling Jonathan, somebody's calling. So they go and they look, and there's nobody there. Nobody there. So as soon as my parents went back to the room, they just told us, it's your imagination, y'all are watching something scary. I told them, let's change the channel. They're like, he probably dozed off, he probably thought it was something. And I'm like, no. So when we changed the channel, we put on wrestling at that time, and then we were watching some reruns of some stuff, and then the next thing you know, boom, 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 boom. Jonathan, Monica, come on, come over here. I swear it sounded like my mom, but it wasn't my mom.
No.
Because she was in her room and she had the door locked. I was so freaked out. We stayed up all night till the sun came out to go to bed because we were afraid of what was over there. There's been that. I mean, I'm telling you, I can go on and on. I remember when I was 3, and my grandma always had a chair in her room against the wall, and I asked her, why do you have that chair there, Grandma? And she goes, oh, so your Uncle Gibby can visit me. My Uncle Gibby died in 1973. So I just was like, okay. So one night, we ended up sleeping there because we didn't go home because they had a party, and so we slept in the living room, and everybody was asleep, and I heard my grandma's garage door open, and some heavy boots. Now, my uncle used to be in the room. He came. I see this man standing there and in the whole fatigue thing, and he told me, shh, and smiled at me and waved by and went into my grandma's room.
Oh.
And so I started seeing him like that after some time because we ended up moving in with my grandma. There was times when me and my cousin used to race around the house, and we look up into my grandmother's bedroom. We see this lady in a white dress with a long braided hair and those old 1800 dresses, like nightgowns. And she would just be staring at us, smiling, and the lady would walk off. And I would describe it to my grandmother, and she ended up telling me that it was her great grandmother that would come and visit. Yeah, it was creepy. But my grandmother was into things like that. She used to have that gift, There's just a lot of things that happen. One thing I could say, after all that happened with the Ouija board, one day I was on the phone with Erica, and the next day I don't remember, but this is what she wrote it down, and she told me, Monica, I said, what is wrong with you? And I felt like we were talking the whole time, and she goes, Monica, you've been out of it for an hour. And I said, what do you mean? She goes, you said, my name is not Monica. I am her guardian angel, and I'm here to give you a warning and tell you everything that's gonna happen. I told her she was gonna get a new car in November. I told her that she was gonna be getting a new job. That she was. I started telling her all these things that were gonna happen. Come to find out, she ended up getting a new car in November. She wrote down on this list. It happened. It all happened, and I don't remember anything telling her. And I just kept telling her, heed my warning and stay away from certain things because this is gonna happen to you. I don't know what she wrote down. She never told me the rest. She just told me that. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I can go on and on. There's a lot of ghost stories that I have that have just been crazy. Things that I've seen, things that I've witnessed. The one time when I played a Ouija board and we were taunting it, and I told it, if you're really real, then turn off the light. And boom, the lights all turned off in the house. And then they took me back. And I was like, okay. The one time I can tell you is when my friend Jessica, my brother, and me, we were outside just playing, kids. I was like probably about 10. She was 11, and my brother was about 8 or 9. We were saying how much we love God, and we used to say these kids across the street, like the devil spawn. So we used to like say that they're part of the devil plan and everything. So we would say that. So we were saying, oh, we love God, and God is everything, and the devil isn't real. There's no such thing as a devil. Devil sucks, and all this. We're taunting the devil.
That was literally me.
All we heard is, boom, the transformer blew, and the whole apartment complex blew out. And we ran to her mom, and she was like, what's wrong? We're like, oh my God. It was to the point where, like, when it went boom, everything went complete dead silent. Like, you know how they say when you go in the Appalachians, you hear dead silence, right? Okay. That's how dead it went. It went completely dead. And we ran to her mom, and her mom was like, what's wrong with you? And I remembered the light flickering and finally came on. She's like, oh, it's just a from blue. But we know what we did. And we said he wasn't real. As soon as we said he did not exist, everything blew. And we swear to this day, that's how I know. I always tell people, I don't care what you believe or not, but it's just as much as you believe God is real, just as believe the devil is real too. Because I know firsthand on the shit that I've experienced, and it's just wild. It's the creepiest that you can imagine. And or like when you're asleep and you'll feel, I used to feel when I was little, a nail go across my back like this. When my brother was seeing the hand come out, I would feel across my this. And I would have a scratch mark down my back when I would go take a shower at night. And I was scared that school would see it because they would think it was my mom or something trying to do it, but it wasn't. I knew what it was. It was something, because my back would be against the wall. So how could like anybody scratch you against the wall? Yeah. And I would have scratch down my back behind it. It was intense. It was intense growing up. And still to this day, I deal with things. I still see things a lot. It's funny because the other, me and my husband, we were home alone, and we had the doors shut to the room, and we heard something fall in there. So we look at each other, and he's like, "Oh, nobody's in here but us. Like, what fell?" And it was the whole lamp. It fell over. And it's one of those heavy at the bottom lamps. Yeah. So there's no way you fall. So there's no way, unless somebody really pushes it, it falls. But it fell over. And when everything was dark, all the lights had went out, and I told him, go look, let's go. And I'm hiding behind him, right? Because even though you see things, you still get freaked out sometimes by certain things. So when we went to go look, sure enough, I saw this tall man in a checkered, one of those flannel checker shirts, standing there. And I went, oh my God. He turned on the light, and I go, did you see? He goes, yes, I saw him. Well, then my mother-in-law shows me a photo of, because the property's old that she has. My mother-in-law has showed me a photo of the previous owners, and when she showed me, the guy in the photo is was the lady's son, and that was the guy that I saw in the room.
Oh, no.
So I'm just, yeah, I got a lot to tell on that. I just feel like if anybody wants to play with the Ouija board, just do it at your own risk.
Don't
do
do
I
it.
think that anybody is really pushing it? No, I it really goes by itself. I like on first hand, I've seen it where it moved by itself and without anybody touching it, and it spin in circles, just going and then fly off. Like it is the creepiest thing. People say, "Oh, it's because you believe in all that and you can cause it," but no, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. And if you can either be a believer or not, you can either believe my story or not, but it's my truth, and I know what happened. I have witnesses behind it that can even back and validate my story. She had everything written down too about what happened and how it happened. So yeah, it's something to really. Oh, and I see about y'all dolls, right? So let me tell you a story about that. My ex-husband, his mom loved dolls. She had a case full of dolls. And one night, I go into the room. My husband at that time, he was a drug addict, my ex-husband, and he was getting high with his mom, whatever. I was sober, and it was just a lot. But anyways, that night, I would fall asleep and he would wake me up because he was all freaking out. He's like, I hear something running around. And I'm like, oh, it's just your paranoia, like go to bed or something, right? And when I went, the case to his mom's dolls was open. She never opened it. It was always locked. So when she was dead asleep because she had been up partying all night and she finally went to bed, whatever. And one of the dogs was missing and we couldn't find the damn doll. Well, when we found the doll, it was in the room with us and we don't know how that doll got there. She was the only one that had the key. And there's no way this doll escaped, but it was being a little shit. It was running around, and it was trying to scare us. Well, that night, my ex-husband was acting really weird. And he was trying to get me to stay in that room, and I found that he hid a butcher knife, underneath the bed. I told him, what is wrong with you? And he was like, he goes, I can't have to be in here alone. He goes, stay in here. His mom woke up and she was like, what is wrong with you? And he was like, well, Monica doesn't want to stay in the room. She goes, she doesn't have to stay. And he was like, I'm going back to the room. And he went in the room and me and his mom looked at each other because his eyes looked different. Like they looked weird. So we're just thinking maybe it's because he's on drugs or something. So we walk into the room, and mind you, my ex-husband was scared of the dark because he's had some scary things happen to him when he was younger. He was in pitch black darkness, and I knew that was one red flag for me. Next thing you know, when we look at him, he starts levitating off the bed. He is levitating in the air, and my ex-husband at the time weighed over 300 pounds, but like that. There is no way this man was levitating off the bed. Like, he was left in the air. He flipped forward a little bit, and he went back down, and he came back down onto the bed. And then he opened his eyes and looked at us. His eyes were pitch black.
Oh my
God.
And
he told me, get in the bed with me now. And I said, no. I bad. And I told his mom goes, I got to take y'all home. So when we get home, I told my mom what's happening. He went straight to the bedroom and went to the dark. He turned off all the lights and he laid on the bed. I told my mom, I was like, Mom, I don't know what to do. Like, this man is freaking out. She goes, trick him. Put some holy water on your hand. She goes, rub your hands like this. And he doesn't know you're putting it. And just walk over there and say, just act normal. So I said, okay. And if he's possessed. So I said, okay. So we're in the kitchen. Mind you, the hallway's long. We're at the end of the hallway for our bedroom. I'm in the kitchen where my mom poured it on my hands, rubbed it. I go down there, and I was like, hey, he goes, before you touch me with those hands, he goes, I know you put holy water on them. There's no way he knew this. He's like, you're gonna, and his voice started changing, and he started saying, get the fuck away. He's just like going off. And his voice, oh my God, to this day, it still scares me. The way his eyes look, and he was just like hissing, like a, he kept doing that. Like, I was like, what the hell is he doing? And then my mom just comes in and she throws holy water on him, and he starts screaming and saying all this gibberish, and I don't even know what the hell he was saying. And to the point where he passed out. And I was like, what the hell? I after that, it was, our relationship went sour, and we just ended up divorcing after that. Like, really, it was really scary. I just couldn't. After that, he started being a lot different. He's in prison. He did a robbery, so I mean, there's just been a lot of things that's happened behind these things that I can't explain, and I just think about it, and it just sounds so much like, how does all this happen to this one person? Like, all these things, and it's like, I always think back to, like, could it possibly be from when we were playing with the Ouija board? All these things just along the way. Even from childhood, just because I'm a sensitive to things, and I can know things and see things and deal with things. Like, is it that? I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. And it just sits there and it boggles my mind. And then my youngest son, wants to be a paranormal investigator. So I cannot step foot into a cemetery. Every time I go to a cemetery, I always bring something back with me, and then I have to make it leave. Things like that, because it's annoying sometimes. Because I know sometimes I hear them tell me, and I'm just like, oh my God. And I'm not crazy, people. Like, if you see this, I'm not crazy. I am fine, But, like, I don't know. It's interesting, the things I've been through and the things I've seen. And I just hope this story gets out there and everybody knows, It's kind of the spooky season for everybody to find out about all this. But it is some serious shit out there that we don't know. We don't have any answers for. There are real ghosts. I used to work for one of the most haunted hotels downtown. I've seen the ghosts downtown too. When working at the hotel, we would get stuck on floors. We would see them walk in our lobby. we had a guest come down and tell us that some man with black eyes and a monk robe was knocking at the door with a Bible in their hand. And when they opened the door, they saw him out the people. And when they opened the door, he was no longer there. The police have been called for that. They could not find the man. And it happened 2 nights in a row to the same room.
Oh my God.
And it was just, everybody knew not to go to the 5th floor. The 5th floor was the most haunted floor. And I would always go, because, I mean, you deal with it. But there would be some things where the housekeepers would be cleaning and the door would slam behind them. Just a lot of weird things, a lot. But our hotel renovated and everybody left, but we were part of the downtown hotel next to the old German school. We was connected to us, so we owned the building, and even in there was like cold spots, and you would see things, and you would hear somebody talking, and it was crazy. We had a lot of stories at the hotel, but I mean, those are my spooky stories that I want to everybody.
Literally the scariest stories that I've ever heard. Like,
Crazy. It's a lot. It's a lot, but I thought I would share it with y'all and put it on y'all's channel, because I really follow y'all, and I look at your stuff and I'm like, it's pretty cool. I like y'all stuff, So I'm like, let me go up there and tell my story. And I spread the word too at work and Facebook and everything, and tell my kids and TikTok, and because I mean, why not? Why not share the stories that maybe somebody else needs to hear that story,
Right.
or if people need to reach out and tell me, hey, I have similar experiences.
Yeah.
You know, I can be there to help them and guide them, because there was a lot of things I went through, to the point where, like, you would feel somebody. I had it where somebody would be sitting on me, and I would open my eyes, and I didn't see anything, but I could feel it, and I couldn't breathe, and I couldn't talk. Until when finally released me, it was just like, it's those scary things, and I wasn't asleep. There was times where everybody, oh, it's probably your sleep paralysis. No, these were happening when I was awake.
Yeah.
So it was scary things like that. But I mean, I sure know that I have a guardian angel out there, because I've had instances where I've been saved a lot. A lot of things that I should have not been here for, that I actually have been saved through. So if you need to share with me, you know how to hit me.
Yeah, we'll put your information in the little description.
I have so many questions. Like, I can't even think of all of them. But do you think that the house that you lived in it sounds like the house that you lived in, like when you had like a scratch on your back and your little brother had like all that stuff happening, it sounds like the house had like a demonic like entity or something. Do you think that like attached to you and like followed you forever?
That I've always wondered, because we still have dreams about it. We still have dreams of the same demon.
Oh my God.
I still have to this day. My brother does to this day. I've had dreams where it's every night the same recurring dream, and it telling me that it's my fault that he couldn't get my brother's soul. That I was his protection, and I was protecting him, and that there's a light around me that protected him from not getting his soul.
Oh my God.
That recurring dream always freaked me out to this day. It still does. I still have it. Yeah, that's something that I always feel like maybe that's why a lot of bad things happen. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I've always thought about it, but I don't know.
Did you tell your mom after like all the stuff that happened? Like,
oh yeah, I told her right when it was happening. Like after everything was going on with as a child, everything that happened, she was a witness to it. Like I said, when one night when my brother's bloody murder, me and my mom were in the living room, and he screamed bloody murder because he had went to go lay down. And when we went in, we saw this big black hand with long fingers and nails. Like it looked like a claw coming up from through the bed of the bottom. And he was pinned up against the corner, grabbed him and held him, and it kept trying to grab him. And it finally went down. And we just see this big black shadow go up against the wall and disappear. It was the craziest thing. But when you're a kid, you're just like freaked out so bad, because you're just, your mom is your protection. Mm-hmm. So you jump to your mom, and my mom saw it with her own eyes, and she still tells people, my friends till this day, like anybody that comes around, she'll be like, that time when my son was she goes into detail. So yeah, she knew. She knew.
Do you know, how long did you live in that house? Or like, do you know if anybody lives there? Like, is it still standing?
It's still standing. I passed by it last year was the last time I passed by it. It's still standing. We happened to stay there for about a year, and that place. We moved around a lot as kids. We're just four kids, just moving around, doing everything we can to survive. And it was just like, that house creeped me out so bad. And, there's a thing with Mexican cultures, like curanderas and curanderos, right? My grandmother, everybody would call her a curandera. So when my brother was going through all those things, and he was having bad dreams, but he kept saying, the devil's trying to take me. The devil wants me to die. He wants to take me already, because my soul's valuable to him. And my grandmother made him this tea. I remember we went over to my grandmother's, and my parents were like freaked out. They didn't know what to do. They were crying. My grandmother said, bring them over here. I remember this. It was in the middle of summer. And in Texas in summer, it's dry, straight heat. There's no wind. So we went inside the house. She opened all the windows, opened all the doors. She told us, give me a broom. She took one of those old school wooden brooms. And she told my brother to lay on the floor in the living room. He laid on the floor, and she started saying some stuff. I don't know what she was. She was whisking him with the broom, cleaning him, patting everything. And she started saying all stuff, and then all of a sudden, this big gust of wind blew it, like out of nowhere. I don't know how. It was cold as shit. And I remember, and like I said, it's the middle of summer, so there's no way that this happened. And it was just swirling, and we're just there like this. And it was freezing. And she's saying it, and as soon as she did it, she went like this, and it stopped. And then she had him the tea, and she gave it to him. He drank it. After that, she said, drink that for 3 days straight. After that, you shouldn't have no more dreams. So she did it for 3 days straight.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I mean, he stopped having those dreams. But after that, like, I was the one having certain dreams to come to follow. There is a story in my family that not a lot of people know about. My aunt's the one that told my parents this, and I was just so happy to be nosy kid and being there when you're telling it, right? Grandma talked about my grandfather who passed away already, that he sold his soul to the devil for money. He said that one night the devil came to him and offered him, he was a broke musician at that time, and he needed money for his family. Like my dad is a family of 9, I think, or 7 or 9 of kids. Yeah. So like they needed money. They were a poor family. And he sold his soul. He told the devil, I'll give you my soul for money. The devil gave him, after that, his wallet would never not without money. He always had money, and he was splurging. And my grandmother didn't know where all this money was coming from because he wasn't working. So she kept asking him where he getting all this money, and he said, don't worry about it. Well, one night, the devil ended up appearing to them at the foot of the bed. My grandmother's asleep. My grandfather woke up, and he said, it's time to collect. You need to come with me. My grandfather said no, and the devil was getting angry at me. My grandmother, he woke up my grandmother and told her, broke down crying and telling her what he did. She ended up doing something and ended up sending the devil away and saved my grandfather. That is a story. This has happened way before anything. And this happened, I think, before or after my Uncle Gibby had passed away. He died because he was murdered. So the story is after that there was a curse on our family. So I'm not sure if that comes into play with anything either. Like I said, there's a lot of stories that I have and I've grown up with, and I've heard from my aunts, or I heard from my grandmother, or my own experiences that we lived and had to deal with. But yeah, this is my truth in my life story.
It's crazy.
I can't even comprehend. Even just seeing one of the things that you named, I would not be okay.
Yeah.
That's
scar me
a lot,
for life.
Yeah. Especially as a kid too, or seeing that happen to your little brother who's only 5. That is so traumatizing. Yeah. And it's literally something that would happen in a movie that you don't think could actually happen.
People have told me I should write a book.
Yes, please write a book.
And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I'll tell it. I don't mind telling them my story because it's my story and I can tell it if I want to. Mm-hmm. And you all are the first place I've ever shared this stories with.
Ooh, thank you. I feel honored.
So yeah, y'all are the first people that I've ever shared all these stories with. The only ones I knew were inside my circle. But I saw your podcast, like I said, I followed y'all before, and then I started seeing it. And when y'all had posted that, I was like, you know what? This is supposed to come on and tell my story. So it's a lot. Growing up, it was hard, especially like living in a place where my grandmother always, she was her own sensitive. So there was always like things coming in and out of the house, and you would hear doors open, shut by themselves. And I grew up around that. So for
Yeah.
me now, it's normal,
Yeah.
but then some, it's still scary.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter how much you've been around this and grew up around it and seen it. Even seeing it sometimes is freaky. It's scary. I've seen children. I've seen children. I had a story where I was with this one guy who ended up talking in gibberish and saying how he's saying that he was a dirty whore and all this stuff, and it just like sounding in a different voice, and then didn't know that I had put certain things there, and he said, "Your holy water can do nothing to me. Neither can your crosses."
Oh.
And I was like, "How did he know about this?" Like, he didn't know I placed certain things in certain spots. And he's like, "I don't know why you rely on this, because honestly, it's not going to help. God is not going to save you." And it was just like, whoa. You know, I always feel like, God, why do I always attract the weird? I was like, why? And I was like, hey, Winston, we are the weirdos, okay?
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm glad I shared my story with y'all. Y'all are really cool, you know, and I love to watch y'all's content all the time.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
especially when you're packaging the dolls.
Yeah.
I,
We have a lot of dolls. That's what I was gonna ask too, is if you can like, so when you see spirits, do they look like the same all the time? Like, can you tell it's a spirit, or do they look like humans and you don't know for sure?
Some of them are the way, some of them look normal. Some of them look like, I can say body. Some of them look like a shadow people. Oh yeah, shadow people a lot. The ugly ones that come out at night, the ones that you don't, that in the normal eye you don't see walking down the street, that I see turn that corner, that you know that they were bad in life. There's times where I'll walk into a HEB and I literally pass by someone and it gives me the most creepiest feeling, and I know something about them. The ghost itself, like you see certain things with them. I've seen like I said, I've seen children. That's the ugliest one. I don't like seeing anything with children. It's sad, you know. But there was one in our apartment. She was a little girl. She was really pretty. She's a pretty little girl, dark black, long hair, with a little nightgown on, and she would hide behind the table, and she would always be in our kitchen.
And then I would be so scared.
And she walked through the wall. My son, my youngest, seen her too. He said that he saw this man that run right through the wall to the other end of the wall. He said, I saw him in the shower, in the tub, standing in the tub, scared, like in the corner like this, and he was freaked out. Like, he said then he just disappeared, and I'm like, where did you see him? He goes, I just saw him. My daughter used to tell me that she used to see this couple, this guy and girl on the street. The guy was bloody on his side of his face, and there was that he was in a horrible accident with his girlfriend and they died. And actuality, on that street, when I did my research, on the street she saw it, there was a guy and a girl that had passed away on the street, off of O'Connor Road, and they were in an accident. So like, it was these little things that I used to listen to, unless like my children are now see, and so they're like, it's just like passing down.
Like, your whole family just has like those gifts. It seems like.
Oh yeah, my son will feel things if they're wrong. He has that feeling. My youngest is the one that sees it the most. My daughter, she stopped seeing it when she turned 9. She stopped seeing the ghosts, but she said she used to see them. They used to come and visit her all the time. And then my son, he still sees them to this day. My youngest. So yeah, it's a lot to deal with, and they're never gonna go away anywhere. So
I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I wish I could see spirits, but then at the same time, I think it would kind of like freak me out a lot too.
Yeah, it does. There's some that look very scary. There's some that look very scary, or they try to scare you. They want, like, some of them want to, like, give off, but in deep down inside, they're not really like that. It's just they're scared themselves.
Yeah.
Because I've come across ones that don't know that they're even dead. They're just like,
that's sad.
Yeah.
they're normal.
Yeah.
It things like that. So it's scary. It just comes off to where you're just like, you just got to learn how to live with it. I know how to control it to where, leave me alone, let me sleep. Like, I don't want to hear it right now.
Yeah.
But there's times where you're just like, it's just like, okay, what do I need to do? Type thing, So, yeah, I mean, scary things like that. The one thing I hate the most is knowing the future before it happens. That I don't like.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And why I say that is because there's some things that you're like, oh, cool, I get to see. But then there's certain things that that's going to happen. And you can't do anything about it because you don't know when, where, how. You just see the vision of it. And it's just like, you don't know when it's going to happen or where it doesn't give you a date. So I'm a big believer in signs. I feel like everything if you really pay attention, these spirits leave you signs to try to guide you the right way. And you gotta differentiate if it's a good spirit or bad spirit trying to leave you that type of sign on what you feel. You'll know, you feel it in your heart, whether your gut feeling, everybody has it in them. Like, in your gut feeling, like, hey, I don't feel right about being here, or I feel like maybe I should go home, or maybe I should take this turn instead of that turn. Well, guess what? There was just an accident. If you would have just been there 5 minutes before, you would have been in that accident. And that's happened to me a lot of times where I'm like, wait, I just had my keys, and where are they? And then come to find out there was a horrible accident. If I was there, I would have been involved in it. So, I mean, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I agree for sure.
Any more questions, girls?
I don't have anything.
I have one more question. Can you see any spirits around us right now?
You know what? When you ever talk with those spirits, I see them, and some of them like staying in there, and some of them want to come out. Like with the dolls, like some of them are there, and you know it too, because they'll make little tabs or little things, and they're just trying to get your attention because they want to. Some of them want to be alive, but still, some of them want to be. So they try to go into these dolls, and some of them are sinister, some of them are normal, happy ones, and yeah. I see them. I do. I think that they're attracted especially to y'all because I know that I think one of y'all is a little bit more sensitive than the other. And I think that, I know, I'm drawn. And I feel like you know things and you see things, but you kind of dismiss it too because you don't want to kind of see it because you're just like, But if you really embrace it, you'll really start learn how to control it. Because sometimes they're reaching out for a reason. Yeah. And they're trying to tell it. I think that they see you as a helper in it all. And then some are just wanting to be little sinisters. And I think you know which doll is one of the most sinister one out of them all. Because there's one that just wants to test you.
Is it one that's in our studio?
Mm-hmm.
Which one do you think it is?
It's probably this one.
Does it have a pink dress?
I don't know on that part right there. I just know that I feel it. I feel it in there. And it's been listening the whole time.
Stop. I have goosebumps right now.
Yeah, it has been listening to everything that we've been talking about. And it's like So, I mean, I feel like these spirits, they all come, but I think it's only the way you conjure them up too. I don't like saying ghost so much because for me, ghost is like a word of a cliche. I feel like we're all spirits. We have a spirit, and we're spirits.
Yeah.
More into ghosts. I do always say spirits when I talk about them because at one point some of them were living and some of them never were born.
Yeah.
And I feel like of them, I think there's a few of them that, and part of with the dolls that have never been born on this earth.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm definitely gonna send you pictures after this and be like, which ones of these are?
Do you feel anything from these?
I mean, I feel like y'all are good people, and I feel like y'all are good spirit people. I've always gotten a good vibe with y'all. That's why I wanted to share my story on y'all's podcast, other than other people. Because I've been offered on other podcasts, like, oh, tell me your stories. I'm like, never mind. I won't tell it. So, y'all, like, I really felt bad last week. I was all excited, and I completely forgot after I got off of work. I fell asleep, and I was like, oh. And I was like, please, I want to tell my story. And I'm glad that y'all had me come back, you know, and did it. So I appreciate it. It was really fun, girls. I really had enjoyed it, and
me too.
Send me the pictures. Yes. Whatever you want to ask me, you can ask me after. And if you need to add it onto your theme, I'm cool with it.
Okay. Thank you so much. We'll have to have you on again to tell some more stories. I could literally listen to them like all night.
Yeah.
I have stories. We're gonna be doing some things pretty soon, so I will definitely tell you, especially the property that I live on. There's been some stories on that property. It's an old property that was like where they used to bring the horse carriages and stuff like that to the property. Oh, so yeah. So y'all, and I'll eventually show it to y'all, and y'all will see it, and y'all be like, wow.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Okay, yeah. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Have a good night.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah, happy Halloween. Don't get possessed again.
Yeah. Literally.
Oh my god. That was so much scarier than I was ever picturing.
Yeah.
Thanks, girlies and ghoulies, for joining us. Come back next week for stories about witches and the craft.
Make sure to follow our socials linked in the show notes and email us your ghost stories and anything paranormal at girlyghosttales@gmail.com.
If you want episodes 1 week early, live ghost hunts, Tarot Tuesdays, monthly giveaways, and exclusive bonus content, join us on Patreon for $5 a month. New episodes release every Friday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Until next time, and remember, if you hear a whisper in the dark, it's probably just us.
But just in case, keep your lights on and your doors locked. And remember, the veil is always thinner than you think.
Good night.
Happy Halloween.
Girly Ghost Tales.